Well, good morning, Pammy. Good morning, friends. It's day 11. Had a good restful 0 day yesterday. Probably my last one. I might do another one in Gorham. It's gonna kind of depend on how things play out in the Carters. But it's time to get back on trail. Today, we're gonna start at the Flume Gorge Visitor Center, go up Liberty Springs, and hopefully get to Mount Garfield tonight to the tent site there. The amount of zeros that I've had in the last few days, it's like almost like I feel like I got off trail for a little while, even though I only took 2. But each of those zeros was preceded by a day where I did really big miles and needed the break. Unfortunately, there just won't be anywhere to take zeros from here on out, and I can't afford to. And I certainly won't be able to do any double days on days when I have, 10 or more miles planned. So, you ready to do this, Pammy? Well, you got the easy job. I got to carry us up. So, say goodbye to the Notch Hostel. It's been a good stay. Really enjoyed it here. It's a nice place, but it was a holiday weekend, so they were bursting at the seams. I'd be interested in coming back for a midweek stay sometime when it's not a holiday and see what it's like with fewer people. But we sure had a good time. Moving on. So last night the Pemmy Bear came in. Okay. Well, thankfully I wasn't here. But I talked to some folks that were. One of the hikers that I've been hiking with, No Hurry, it tried to eat his food canister. But thankfully he had a bear canister, so everything was fine. But he showed me the teeth marks on it. Kind of cool and kind of scary at the same time. Thankfully, I got a lot of miles to go. And the area I'm gonna camp at is outside of its known range. So, up I go. Another quarter mile to the ridge, and then on to views. Good morning. Gorgeous day. Almost there. Thank you. You as well. Well, Pammy, we made it to Liberty. And the views, well, they speak for themselves. So this section of trail is somewhat infamous because you're basically going down a waterfall. You can see, I think this is actually from the spring by the camp. Fortunately, the water is very low, which sucks for camp, but is great for coming down here. But there's no way I can film while going down this. By the way, just to give you an idea of how steep that is, because I know the camera doesn't show it, that's flat and level. That's what I go down. All right, Pemmy, here we are at our first hut. Why didn't we stay at huts? Well, because they're too expensive. And I didn't want to take work for stays from actual thru hikers. And to be honest, their beds are uncomfortable. I am not a wimp. I just like my hammock. Point 8 to the South Twin. And it's a brutal point 8. I remember this one. Okay, Pemmy. We're at the top of South Twin. Holy cow. To give you an idea, anything over 1,000 feet per mile is considered very steep. This was 1,125 feet in 0.7 miles. That's right, steep, steep, steep. I am sweating buckets and definitely gonna take a break up here. But I'd also want to take a break up here to enjoy the views. Check it out. So that's Franconia Ridge, where we were yesterday, and Garfield. That's North Twin, another 4,000 footer, but I'm not gonna add 2 miles to go and bag one that I don't really need because I'm not working the grid. There's the presidentials over there, a little bit of clouds on top of Washington. And we've got some nice open, fairly flat for the rest of today over to Zealand, and then further down you've got the Bonds, but those are not on our agenda. Oh, what a day. And there's Owl's Head in the middle with Flume and Liberty, or Flibberty as it's called, on the other side. All right, let's take a break. So there's a saying that goes, the trail provides, meaning that when you're on the trail, things just kind of happen that provide your needs. I never liked the saying much because the trail really doesn't provide anything. But what it really means is the people on the trail provide. And I just got a wonderful example of that. Somewhere going up South Twin, I lost my glasses. Now, as you can see, they are on my face. I had left South Twin and was on my way to Gio when I heard somebody yell, "Hey-oh," behind me. I looked back and here comes a trail runner. So I stepped off the trail so that he could go by. And he says, "Hey, somebody gave me your glasses to deliver to you. I was only going to go to South Twin, but I figured you couldn't be too far ahead. So I just ran a little extra to deliver them to you." That was such an amazing piece of generosity. He didn't need to do that. He went not only where he was already going, but extra mileage. Now, yeah, he's a trail runner. He's out here to get his exercise. And so, you know, extra quarter mile, half mile, whatever. I don't know. I wasn't going very fast, so I'm sure he caught me quickly. But just that he was willing to go that extra mile just to deliver somebody he didn't know their glasses that they'd lost. That was amazing. So thank you, God. And thank you, unknown trail runner whose name I didn't even get. Greatly appreciated. All right, summit of Mount Gio. I'm on a section of trail that I have never hiked before. This is the second of 3 sections of the AT in the Whites that I've never hiked. It's not much of an up, just a little bit, and then it's down and down and down, all the way to the valley floor by the Zealand Hut. And from there, it's blessedly flat, which is good, because I still got a lot of miles to make today, and it's almost noon. This is the only blue blaze I intend on taking, because honestly, unlike most blue blazes, this one's actually longer than the white blaze, and it's got incredible views, and I need a pack off break and some lunch. And what better place to do that than at an absolutely phenomenal overlook. Pammy would never forgive me if I skipped this. Gotta show you the view, Pammy. You know what that is in front of us? That is the Pammy Wilderness. Yeah, that's what you're named after. It's beautiful. All of that. And that down there, that line, right above your antlers there, that is the trail. And that's not tomorrow's trail. That's today's trail. So we got a long way to go, don't we? I better get moving, huh? You're not wrong. Zealand hut, finally. Long day, and still got a long way to go. So a lot of confusion there. I got to the Zealand hut, went to fill up my water. Another gentleman who I've been kind of leapfrogging with all day. His English isn't so good. I believe he speaks French. And I'm sure my French is much worse than his English. But we got to the hut and the crew told us that we couldn't leave because they had a helicopter inbound. So helicopter came and went. Nobody said anything. So I stuck my head out and said, hey, can we leave now? They're like, yeah, now's a good time. And I couldn't find the other guy. I don't know, he was probably in the privy. But I got my pack and headed out. And before I even got to the first turn, which is about a quarter mile away, I heard the helicopter inbound again. Unfortunately, there's too many trees. I didn't get any good footage. I got some footage out the window. We'll see if the editor allows that to go into the video. I tell you what, I've still got 5 miles to go, and it's 2:30 in the afternoon. It's one of my longest days yet, but at least I've got a beautiful, beautiful trail. Flat for miles and miles. Some water areas, but I shouldn't need it because I got enough water at Zealand to get me through to Ethan Pond. I should also point out that this is the third area of the AT and the Whites that I have not hiked. All the way to Ethan Pond and a little further on. And the Ethan Pond Trail connects to the Wiley Ridge Trail. I'm back on familiar ground, but that's not till tomorrow. I was up there earlier today. You could see this area. Now I'm walking on it. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Man, today has been a brutal day. Let's go get our hammock hung. So, I've been kind of slacking the last few days with my shout outs. So I've got a few to catch up on. There's Pemmy hanging behind me to whisper in my ear and remind me who I forgot. So the first name on my list is Andrew and Nikki. They're a couple from my church that supported the fundraiser. So thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Next is Rick Cardos. Rick Cardos runs the Nathan Project, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping those overcome sexual addiction. It's a Christian organization, and he does some really good work. Last is a coworker named Brad. I'm not going to use last names, but y'all probably know who he is if you work with me. But he donated to support the cause, so it's greatly appreciated. I also wanted to mention Alex. Alex was a firefighter who lost his battle with depression. I don't know much about Alex. He's somebody I learned about while I was on the trail. It seems like there's a lot of people, and they all have stories. And it's sad, but it seems like those that work in public service jobs tend to suffer the most with suicide. Veterans, cops, firefighters. They see the worst in humanity sometimes, and it takes a toll. Well, good morning from Ethan Pond. Isn't it a beautiful morning? Absolutely gorgeous. Today's one of those bittersweet days. I get resupplied. It's good because, new food and such. But it also means my pack will be heavier. And I tell you what, my pack was killing me yesterday. It was a rough day. But I've only got 3 miles to go to the road where my friends are going to resupply me. And then I've got 6 miles after that to get up to the Naumann Tent Site. Probably going to have them take me to the AMC Center where I can get some Wi-Fi so that I can get all these videos uploaded from my editor. But those trail miles aren't going to hike themselves. So come on, let's get going. After a minute to enjoy this beautiful pond. Well, thank you so much to Renee and Greg. They're my trail angels for this morning, dropping off my resupply. And then they ran me up to the AMC Center so that I could charge things and so that I could upload some video. So thank you very much. And now, as was once said, it's off into the woods I go to lose my mind and find my soul. "30 minutes ago, I was on the hardest part of this climb, and it was raining, and it was slippery, and I couldn't get any video for safety reasons. Now, look at this. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But we're not at the top of Mount Webster yet. We should get even better views from up there. And I don't think we're gonna get any more rain. I sure hope not. Right down there is where Renee and Greg dropped me off. And now I'm up here. Look at it. Oh, so pretty. And there's I'm on top of Webster Cliffs, and those are the Willard Cliffs. Oh. And then, let's see, that would be Willie, Field, and Tom, with, I guess, Avalon, and of course Willard. Ah, this section's so beautiful. Got to get up and over that, but hard part's over and the rain has stopped. It's a good day. Well, Pemmy, we are not at the summit yet. Yes, I know, summit, summit, summit. And we'll stop there and get views too. But there's good views here, and I need to dry some clothes because that rain shower soaked me. But you can't tell it looking at the sky now that it was raining half an hour, maybe 45 minutes ago. But check out the views. Absolutely spectacular. Somebody asked me to film all my wildlife encounters. I encountered a grasshopper. Okay, Pimmy, here we are, summit of Mount Webster. I know you love summits, and I know you love views. So check these out. Isn't that amazing? And right there, above your antler, that's the Mount Washington Omni Hotel. And across the way there, you can see kind of see Mount Pierce. I believe that's Mount Eisenhower, Mount Madison, and then of course big old George with the towers on top. And that one right there, that's Mount Jackson, which is where we go next. Oh, what a beautiful day, now that the rain has stopped. So, I remember this section from once before, and I wish there was a good way that I could video myself going up that. But there's just no way to do it with the gear that I have with me. And the thing is, now that I've just come up that, this is what you could see before. I still have that. I know it's hard to tell how steep things are in the camera. Trust me, it's steep. Well, Pemmy, second summit of the day. And as always, or I shouldn't say always, because sometimes the views suck, but not today. Oh, it's beautiful up here. Check it out. You like that, huh, Pemmy? All right, well, today was a long day. Not so much long mileage-wise, but it was after 5 o'clock when I got to camp, which is unusual for me. Then again, I killed about 4 hours at the AMC Center, so not so bad. Anyway, I am here at the Naumann Tent Site. I believe it was 9 miles today, so not terribly long mileage-wise, but I got a big one tomorrow. Gotta try and get a super early start. A little wind picking up. I thought for a minute there somebody was walking up on me. Anyway, I didn't do a shout out, so today's shout out is for Allison and Casey. They're friends of mine from church, and they are also supporting my fundraiser. So thank you, Allison and Casey. And I think I'm going to try and do shout outs from like all of the summits that I cross tomorrow, because tomorrow is the Prezzies. Starting with Mount Pierce, I'm going to try to be up there for sunrise. And then from then, it's just across the summits northbound to the Osgood Tent Site. But that's tomorrow. I got to get some sleep first, and I am ready to do so. So, good night, all. He's on my foot.
Cute.